What's up, fellas? Let's go. Friday morning, rare Friday show because it's NFL draft going on. Got the Stella Blue out. Beautiful morning in Chicago. Got the dude wipes and a ton of stuff to get into. We're going to be joined by Jack DeLongchamp of 11.7, who's joined us at 9:15 from Austin, Texas. He's on site at the most hyped up college baseball series I can remember regular season in just a long time. Texas A&M and Texas rivalry series. So many storylines there. We're going to get to that. But we're right off the top, we're going to talk NFL draft because Wild round 1 last night starts back today. We're going to be joined by Tyler Moody at the start. Moody, how are we doing this morning?
Doing pretty good, brother. If you can hear them cutting down the tree outside, my bad. I don't know if it's coming through or not, but hopefully it won't be.
No. Well, a lot of stuff to get into from last night. Just a whole bunch of stuff. I guess we'll start with, ESPN sure is talking about it, but we'll start with the name that was not called, and that's Shedeur Sanders, who I think is going to be the top pick of the second round of Cleveland today. He's minus 350 on DraftKings. Were you surprised that Shedeur did not go first round?
No, I'm surprised that someone didn't trade back up into the back end of the first round to get him. Yes. Am I surprised he didn't go in the top 15 to 20 picks? Not in the slightest. But I really thought that Cleveland may move up with the Houston trade that was made. I thought maybe that was where Houston or Cleveland would move up to and take Shedeur. But I'm really not surprised that he's fallen this far. It's there's obvious knocks on him, and I don't know that the talent level is there for the possible headache that he and his dad and. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because you're going to get all this attention, but there's also a huge fan base for Shedeur Sanders. So whatever team drafts Shedeur, and it's probably going to be the Browns, they're going to get this huge fan base that comes with him, which is great news for them as far as ticket sales and viewership. But you also have the headache of if he doesn't play well and you have to sit him, what's it going to look like and stuff. So very unique situation. And yes, ESPN's coverage last night was so damn bad. I could not have lost more respect for Mel Kiper and ESPN. Then I had to switch it over to NFL Network. They actually did a good job of covering the draft.
Well, we had the Barstool NFL Draft Show last night, which was always a lot of fun with Brandon Walker and
Gruden's
Gruden.
The man, too, by the way.
Gruden. Yeah, I think Gruden was getting a little tired late. He's not a late-night guy, but he's the best, dude. Just unbelievable job. But the Shedeur thing, I think he's going first pick today to Cleveland. Going through just the highlights from the first round, no surprise at the first pick. Obviously, everybody knew the Titans were taking Cam Ward. Do want to mention, I thought they did a good job highlighting this. I think everybody kind of forgets the journey part of it. The fact that he was a 0-star high school recruit and started out at Incarnate Word in San Antonio, who, played – did you ever call a Cam Ward game when you were at Northwestern?
Yeah, we called I got there right after he left Incarnate Word. So I've called some Incarnate Word games before, but I did not have a Cam Ward game there.
Well, he starts at Incarnate Word, goes to Washington State, ends up at Miami, sets the all-time college football record for most touchdown passes, ends up as the number 1 pick. It's kind of one of those things that we've all known he was going to be number 1 for a while, so maybe people take it for granted. But that's just an awesome story to show, if you're not a high school stud, you could still be the 1 pick. And, I'm pulling for him, and I thought he was great at Miami last year. So no surprise there. The Jags blew up the draft, trading up from 5 to 2 with Cleveland to take Travis Hunter. I thought Cleveland got a huge haul and still got a top 5 pick in Mason Graham, who's a stud at D-tackle. They got their first-round pick next year and then a bunch of other stuff. What did you think of that trade?
I thought that was one of the trades where everybody won. The Jaguars went up and got a guy that they think is a franchise changer, a Florida boy first and foremost. They're going to love him down there. He can play on both sides of the ball. And for Travis Hunter, he just could not have lucked out any harder. Living in Florida the rest of your life, instead, the rest of your career, instead of
Cleveland.
My God, what a hole that is. But, he's so lucky to have had that. You can see how happy he was to be going to Jacksonville. He was just absolutely thrilled. So couldn't be happier for Travis Hunter. And I really think that's one of the trades where both teams won. Obviously, he's got to go out and perform. We'll see how they elect to use him. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And he's going to a place that has a quarterback. I know people have some knocks on Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to bounce back.
Well, a lot of changes in Jacksonville. They got a new GM in James Gladstone, who's young and obviously not afraid to make moves. They brought Liam Cohen, the Bucs offensive coordinator, over to be head coach, and Look, the thing is, they're all in on Trevor Lawrence. He has a 5-year, like $275 million deal. They're trying to give him every lane to succeed. And with Brian Thomas emerging last year as just absolute star, him and Travis Hunter on the outside, they got the talent. I think the thing with Lawrence is, can he stay healthy? Because I think that's been, a big part of the problem is he's been super, super banged up. But, Big Cat had a funny theory. He's like, well, they gave up a first-rounder next year, but Travis Hunter's 2 first-round picks because he's an elite receiver and elite corner. He's 2 first-round picks. What do you think of that theory?
Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense. And if that's your guy, then you're willing to make that move. You know what I mean? And I think it's a great spot. And the fact that they do have Brian Thomas Jr. there, you don't have to rely on Travis Hunter as your number 1 receiver. He's going to be seeing number 2 coverage. That's going to give him a better chance to succeed. And that way you don't have to run him out there every play at wide receiver. You can probably focus on him more as a cornerback, which I think makes more sense, honestly, from everything we've seen. But it's just a great move. And, yes, he's worthy of 2 first-round picks, assuming that he's going to be able to stay healthy. I think that's my real knock with Travis Hunter, is if they're going to play him a receiver, man, going over the middle in the NFL is a scary thing. And he's not the biggest bodied dude. He's kind of a smaller guy, so I'm curious to see how his body holds up. That's my one concern with Travis Hunter. I think the talent's there. I think the attitude's there. He seems like a great kid.
Well, I'm on the Cleveland side of it. I'm always in favor of trading down and getting a ton of value, especially if you're not an elite team and you need to fill holes on your roster. So, I got no problems with what Cleveland did. They moved from 2 to 5. Mason Graham's a freaking stud D tackle. They got the Jags first rounder next year and a bunch of other picks. So, kudos to the Browns. I don't think that was, time will tell. If Hunter's a superstar he's supposed to be, then it's a win-win for both. But on the Cleveland side, I don't think it can be a bad move. I mean, they got a lot of value back. Well, New York got to hit on the New York Giants because they feel like the winner of the night. Abdul Carter at 3, who many people thought was the best player in the draft. You get an elite edge rusher, and then you get your quarterback. They trade back and get Jackson Dart in the late first round. I mean, big night for New York. If Dart ends up being really good at quarterback, you got a franchise pass rusher and your quarterback of the future. I remember Houston did that when they got C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson a couple years ago, and then instantly turned it around. I totally, you and I both love Abdul Carter. I don't see how that is a bad move, getting that elite
number one player in the draft, 100% in my opinion. Yeah, and I think the Giants were the real winners of the night. I won't be surprised if Jackson Dart ends up being the best quarterback in this draft. That won't shock me at all. The athleticism's there. He can spin it. He's got that dog in him, and he's going to have Malik Neighbors to throw to. That's a big deal, and he's probably going to be able to sit. They're not going to throw him right into the fire. They brought in Russell Wilson. It appears to be the starter. So, this is a really good situation for Jackson Dart that he's stepping into. He's following the Eli Manning lineage. You know what I mean? So, this is. I think they were the real winners of the night, and they did not give up a ton to move back up into the first round. I thought they did a hell of a job navigating the draft. It's only 1 round, but what a first round it was for the Giants. I think they're the real winners last night.
Yeah, you look at their team. They got a lot of talent on defense now with Thibodeau and Abdul Carter, and they got some studs up front. Like you said, the fact that Dart doesn't have to play immediately. I feel like if they fall out of contention, maybe he plays some on the second half of his rookie season. You mentioned they got a franchise
receiver. Which is
the
most ideal, right? That's the most ideal. You're assuming that Russ doesn't play well. You throw him in there the final 6-7 games of the year. He gets his feet wet, and he gets the experience without the whole season being on his back. I think for a young quarterback, that's probably the best case scenario in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for Jackson Dart. I was bummed. I didn't think the Saints were going to take him at 9 all day yesterday, but then the odds flew up on it on DraftKings before it, so I really thought they might. And so I was in there with Gruden and Megan and Walker. I was hoping, I know it would have been early to take him at 9, but I was definitely wanting to see him in NOLA. But, it's one of those things, man. Jackson Dart's worked his ass off for 3 years, and I'm just thrilled. I thought I was talking to some scouts and, personnel people I know last October, and I'd heard a 4th or 5th round grade on him. So the way he aced the draft process, the Senior Bowl, moving all the way up into the late first round, it's so well deserved, and props to him. And hopefully he can follow that Ole Miss Eli lineage in New York. So can't be bitter. Although, I still have a lot of questions about the Saints today. They took Kelvin Banks at 9. I do think he's going to be a good tackle, and you build on the line, and I get all that. It's boring, but it's efficient. But I'm curious what they're going to do at quarterback now that Dart isn't there. I think you're going to see them make a move today. Shout out Moody 3-1.
I think they're going to tank for Arch Manning. I think that's what's coming. I think the Saints are tanking for Arch.
Well, the problem is I've heard Arch is playing 2 more years at Texas for sure. So that's going to be a long tank then. But shout out Will Campbell. You're North Louisiana guy too. Will Campbell from Monroe. Love seeing a 3-1 great going 4th overall to New England. He was emotional when he got picked, but he's going to be Drake May's blindside protector for the next decade in New England. Dave Portnoy was super fired up about the Will Campbell pick, which I thought was cool. But happy for him. We mentioned Cleveland taking Mason Graham at 5. No real surprise there. You look around the rest of the first round, Arizona taking McMillan, who Brandon Walker's saying is the next Mike Evans. Not Arizona, Carolina taking him 8th overall. But curious, Bryce Young actually really kind of quietly had a great second half last year, and now he gets a big target. That's going to be interesting to follow in Carolina.
And that's what they really needed was a red zone target, right? They've got some guys that are great possession receivers. They needed a guy that – I guess that's essentially what he is too, is a possession receiver. But, kid can go up and get the ball, bro. Like, he's just the catch radius is insane. He doesn't create a lot of separation, and, he wasn't doing it against the best talent. So I'm curious to see, but the kid can go up and just pluck the ball out of the air. So that'll give Bryce Young, who can barely see over the line, someone to throw the football up to, and I think that's a good move for the Panthers.
Yeah, so some other quick first-round stuff we're going to touch on, and then I've got Jack coming on in the next couple minutes because we've got the just unbelievable college baseball weekend. Super excited about it. Atlanta going 2 edge rushers, gets Jalen Walker out of Georgia, then trades back up into the late first round, gives up a lot to get James Pierce. Look, they knew they needed to fix their defense. They get 2 stud edge SEC guys. We'll see if they gave up too much for Pierce, but they're definitely making some changes there.
I just don't know. I thought it was one of the worst moves of the draft, in my personal opinion. But the Falcons believe that they have a quarterback in Penix that is ready to win. Now they're in a division that is certainly winnable, and so they're all in on winning the division next year. They got their needs. They addressed their needs. It cost them a first, but you're also one injury from your quarterback away from that being a top 5 pick next year. So I don't know. I think it was the single riskiest move on draft day, in my personal opinion. I think the Falcons, they took their shot, though. Got to give them credit for that. They took their shot. They weren't scared, and they gave up a first. That could come back to bite them. We'll see. And
a lot of stuff to get into for today, but we're about to go to Jack. Green Bay, first wide receiver taken since 2002 with Javon Walker. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is probably screaming at his TV watching it, but they do it when the draft's in Green Bay. They take Matthew Golden, who runs a 4.29, stud out of Texas. I thought that was a kind of a cool moment.
Thought that was one of the best picks of the entire draft. The fact that he fell that far and then ended up in Texas. In Green Bay, great situation. Thought that was truly one of the winners of the night was the Green Bay Packers. They desperately needed some help for Jordan Love.
Yeah, time will tell. Chargers win a Marion Hampton, who's a stud running back out of Carolina, over Golden, and they need a receiver. So, time's going to tell on if that was the right move. So hopefully they got their stud running back. Do you have Jack there? Moody? Okay, we're about to go to Jack DeLongchamp. Going to be joining us from Austin, getting ready for Texas A&M. Massive, just awesome sports weekend this weekend. NFL draft, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and biggest college baseball series of the year in Austin. So many storylines with A&M in Texas. Looking forward to catching up. Jack, do we got you? When you look at this, while we're waiting on Jack to pop on here, Texas A&M this weekend. Huge rivalry. Texas number 1 in the country. A&M was preseason number 1. Lost their coach. Coach Sloss after the national championship. Went to Texas. This series has been starred for a year since he made that move and shocked all the Aggies. And Texas have an unbelievable year. First year in the SEC, 16-2. Atmosphere and tickets are just going to be so insane at the Dish in Austin this weekend. Texas got some really bad news, losing their star lefty ace Jarrett Spencer for the season to a shoulder injury. It came out. He got hurt last Friday against Auburn, but it came out last night that he's out for the year. So that's a big bummer for Texas, losing your Friday night guy for sure at this point. And really, really hate that for Texas. But can't wait to see this series. It's going to be freaking awesome in Austin. And it's a huge weekend, too, because there's a Tennessee at LSU and Baton Rouge is going to be monster, too. I mean, you've got two of the top 4 or 5 teams playing in Baton Rouge. So Alex Box is going to be rocking. You know, we're only 4 weeks left of SEC regular season baseball. So, man, just can't wait to see what happens at the Box and Texas A&M this weekend. The Aggies thing is epic. The Aggies thing, they were 1-9 2 weeks ago. Now they're 8-10 in the SEC, and they were 50-1 to win the title when I took it. Now they're 15-1, and I can't believe their comeback. They've got so much talent, so can't wait to see that. Also, college baseball big this weekend. NBA playoffs rolling on. We've got a lot of stuff going on that front. I don't know what the hell happened. It's so funny in NBA, but the Thunder last night were down by like 1 million. And shout out White Boy Rick. He took the live money line of the Thunder plus 470. They make a huge comeback in the fourth to beat the Grizzlies 114-108. That series is pretty much officially over. It's 3-0 now Thunder. The New York Knicks won at Detroit 118-116. They're up 2-1. That's been a hard-fought series, but big win on the road for New York after losing Game 2 at home. And then, man, the Clippers. Look, this Clippers-Nuggets series, the Clippers destroyed Denver, holding them to only 83 points last night, 117-83 final. The Clippers up 2-1, and it's kind of one of those things that people forgot about them because Kawhi has never been healthy in the playoffs, but he's healthy right now, and man, they're really playing well. Denver could be in trouble here, and they obviously fired their coach and GM trying to get a spark before the playoffs, which is a super questionable move. But the Clippers, kind of a dark horse to make a big run in the West right now. Then you look at the NHL playoffs, bunch of games last night. Florida now up 2-0 on Tampa. Toronto wins an OT at Ottawa to take a 3-0 lead. Maple Leafs fans got to be going crazy right now because all the playoff struggles they've had. The Minnesota Wild smoked the Las Vegas Golden Knights 5-2. Liam Blutman was not happy with the goalie play of the Knights. That's 2-1 Wild. And then the Blues finally destroyed the Winnipeg Jets 7-2. That's 2-1. But the Blues were kind of in a must-win situation at home. And so very, very, very big bounce back for them for sure in that game. Some other stuff. I'm all fired up today because, I posted on Twitter, first time I've weighed under 230 since 2013. Shout out Jinx. He's been really helping me a ton, but, my jeans feel like Jinkos. I'm feeling freaking good this morning, and it's a damn good feeling. That's for sure. Good to feel positive vibes. Going into the second round of the draft today, I'm very curious. There's a lot of talent available. It's going to be a big day for Ole Miss. Last night, Walter Nolan went to the Arizona Cardinals first round, stud D tackle and dart. And then today you're going to see a ton of names called. The Ole Miss wide receiver Trey Harris. I think Chris Paul, the linebacker, Jared Ivey, Princely, Unamalelea off the edge. Stud edge rusher. Bunch of reps. Trey Amos, the Ole Miss corner, going to go early today, too. All right, Jack, do we got you?
We rocking and rolling.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know what happened there on that connection, but thanks. We got Jack Lonshaw joining us from Austin this morning. He's a man, one of my favorites, rising star in media, I'll say it. This man is everywhere. He's got the taking the pencil talk to the masses. He's at every college baseball game. He's calling games. He's doing stuff for D1 baseball. He's a part of with our great friends Ben Upton at 11.7, the number one college baseball podcast in the world. Jack, you're everywhere all the time, and I appreciate you finding time for us this morning. How we doing?
Dude, that's far too kind, man. Far too kind of an intro. I was listening from afar and saw on Twitter. Dude, congrats on the weight loss deal, though, man. That's a big milestone. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, man. It's started the year on January 2nd at 258. Today's April 25th, and I'm 228. So we're halfway there. I'm super encouraged. I've gotten kind of near this point a couple of times before, though, so it's a Kobe Bryant job's not finished situation. Very happy with the progress, but we're still only halfway. I'm shooting for under 200. I'm training for the Chicago Marathon in October. Doing great. Not trying to sugarcoat it. I'm very pumped, but cannot lose sight of we're still halfway there.
Heck yeah. Well, rightfully so. A lot to be excited about. Just like in the sports world, man. Fired up, dude. We got some big things on the horizon this weekend, huh?
Yeah, dude. Just this weekend, NFL draft, NBA, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, and then, I have you on because the college baseball this weekend is freaking epic. You're in Austin. Is this the most hyped up regular college baseball season series I can remember in years, if not decades, with all the storylines of Texas A&M this weekend?
I don't want to say ever and be over the top and exaggerate like I usually do, but I think it might be the most exciting, anticipated series maybe in the history of the sport. You look down the road at what's happened in Baton Rouge this weekend, and Tennessee and LSU is going to be insanity. College baseball Blue Buds, the last two reigning national champions. It's going to be nuts. So to trump that weekend, you have to have a storyline, right? And that's exactly what we have in Austin, Texas this weekend, as the rivalry will be renewed between the Aggies and the Longhorns. And, to put it frankly, if this game was taking place in College Station, it would quite literally be a war zone. For those that are unfamiliar with the college baseball world, it's A&M, 3 outs, 1 run away from hoisting their first ever national championship. 48 hours later, they're Coach Deuces for arch rival, the Texas Longhorns, and takes his whole staff. The entire players enter the portal. Said staff member, Michael Early, who's the hitting coach of A&M last year, he's wearing the burnt orange. He's at the press conference. And 2 weeks later, he becomes the youngest head coach in Texas A&M baseball history. Now you've got those two guys staring each other down from the dugout. A lot of players. It's going to be a lot of mutual respect. I think that's what a lot of people are missing, is that these guys loved playing for this dude. This dude loved coaching these players. But that sentiment is not similar in the fan bases. It is going to be nasty. It's going to be fun as hell. And I do think with the animosity between these fan bases, I think that's why, if College Game Day for college baseball existed, it's why I took my flops and this pencil to the air and rolled into Austin for the weekend.
Man, it's incredible. And you look at the tail of the two teams. Texas, I thought they'd be really good first year in SEC because Coach Schloss, his first year at A&M, he got them to the Final Four in Omaha. I didn't know they'd be 16-2 in the SEC and number 1 in the country. The job he's done is unbelievable. But then Texas got hit with just dagger injury news last night, losing their Friday ace Jared Spencer for the year with a shoulder injury after he came out in the second inning against Auburn last week. So now you lose your Friday night ace. And then on the A&M side, man, I said it when you start. Talking about, you lose your coach. They had a bunch of injuries early. Everything went wrong. They were preseason number 1. They were 1-9 in the SEC. They got no hit by Tennessee. Run rule 10-0 on a Friday night in the rematch of the National Championship Series. All hope was lost. And what the hell happened overnight? Because they came out for a doubleheader that Saturday, not just beat Tennessee in both games, beat their ass 9-3 and 17-6 in their home field. And it's just like that, the Aggies are back. And since then, won all their midweek games, swept South Carolina. The Saturday South Carolina game, craziest thing I've ever seen. Down 12-7, down 12-2 in the game, down 12-7 in the ninth, hit 2 grand slams in the ninth to win 15-12. I might have had A&M minus 2.5 runs, and that's the luckiest gambling beat. That's the number 1 luckiest gambling beat that's ever happened. You could only win if they had a walk-off grand slam to cover the 2.5. Literally.
It's never happened. It's never happened in the history of the sport. Not 2 grand slams in one inning to walk it off ever. Like, what they are doing is insane. So, yeah, that is quite literally an all-time winner.
Yeah, and then they went to Arkansas last weekend, another top 4 team. Take 2 out of 3. Jay Slavilet's going to probably be the number 1 pick in the MLB draft. He hit 4 bombs last week against Arkansas. And then all of a sudden you look up, A&M was 1-9 in the SEC. Now they're 8-10, looking at being a 2. I think would they be a 2 seed in the NCAA tourney now with the run they've been on?
I took a lot of flack when they go down 1-8, and I said, don't sell. The stock market's in a terrible place. Well, guess what? So are the Aggies, but do not sell. They're coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, they're too damn talented. Everyone said I was nuts. Everyone said I was crazy. I kept my receipts. And this baseball team, Mintzy, is way too good to have not let this happen. So if you're asking, are they a 2 seed? The hilarious aspect of it, I was there that day in Knoxville. They get no hit on Friday night just to come back and win the doubleheader the next day. They were out of the tournament. No one thought they were going to make it. You look at me today, and I tell you, a weekend series win at Tennessee, a weekend series win at Arkansas. If they take care of business here in Austin and they win 2 games, Mitzi, they're going to host. They have to, right? With that resume, they'll knock down the number 1 team twice and the number 2 team all on the road. You got to get to probably 15 wins in the SEC, but it's going to be the best resume in baseball by far.
Yeah, they also have a Missouri series pending, which is 3 free wins for the record. So that's a nice thing for them. No, so I'll tell you who else was not buying. So Jack, I know you follow the gambling too on DraftKings. Oh, yeah. Right after the Tennessee, they won the 2 Saturday. That Monday or Tuesday, I banged A&M future 50-1, big, to win the national title, and they're now like 15 or 20-1. And so I'm all in. Aggies, it kind of has vibes of 2022 Ole Miss when they started 1-8 a little bit. And yeah, in the SEC, and we're really talented, and we're preseason top 5 and number 1 at some point. So I'm stoked. I'm all in on this Aggie train moving forward. But I can't believe I got the team that was number 1 preseason that almost won the national title with almost everybody back, and I've got them 50-1. So that's a pretty good one, right?
Everybody back, right? I held my hypothetical investment too. And I think what the coolest part about that ball club was they never flinched. Like their weekend starting pitching was really good with a guy like Ryan Prager, who got drafted last year, said, nah, I'm cool. I'm going to come back because I want to get that damn ring. It's a new coaching staff. They're trying to figure each other out. They had a big injury to Golden Spike's hopeful Gavin Grahovic at the beginning of the year. But to your point, all they were waiting for was the number 1 pick in the draft. And I don't mind saying that out loud. For our college baseball fans, they know who this is. This guy's tweeted out every 15 minutes. For those that don't, Chase Laviolette is an NFL tight end, and I think an NFL team probably could draft him tonight and make good return on their investment by drafting this guy. He's an absolute menace with a baseball bat in his hand. He's the reigning SEC Player of the Week. That guy's gotten it going, and all of a sudden the team has followed suit. It's contagious as hell, this damn sport. So 50-1 is dirty work, man. You're going to be holding the golden ticket. You can be like Willy Wonka and Charlie, man. That is a golden ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the college baseball landscape. SEC's won every title since 18. You look at it right now. I mean, I think Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, Texas are all elite teams. I know Clemson's having an unbelievable year in the ACC, and they've got it rolling. I don't know. I'm not sure they're quite at that level, but they're very close. But, I mean, I think you could argue that A&M's in the top. I would literally say with how much talent they have, top 5, like talent. Well, even with their 8-10 record, I'd put them up there right behind LSU, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Texas. They're right at that level 100%. Right now.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? They've beaten every team you've mentioned, and the only one that they haven't, they play next week at home in LSU. So, you talk about Texas too, and losing a guy like Jared Spencer, their Friday night guy. You mentioned him, the Indiana State transfer. They've already lost their Golden Spikes guy and Max Ballou earlier this year. So now you're down your best hitter and your best pitcher. And they haven't flinched either. And that's kind of the culture that Coach Schlossnagle has built in Austin. Like, they just, hey, next man up. Let's go have some fun. I talked to like 14 or 15 different players yesterday and interviewed them. And the same sentiment rang true. And it wasn't bullshit. It was, dude, like, it just feels like wiffle ball again. It feels like we're 12, 13 years old playing in the backyard with your boys. And you can sense that. With that being said, I think the Aggies smell blood in the water, and I think they're about to go shark fishing. And if they can go hunt 2 wins here, roll that momentum into a weekend series at home between LSU, who they equally hate as much. And, man, you're looking at an Aggie team where, Mintzy, you're holding that ticket in potential 8-9 days' time going, I got – not only do I have a top 16 team, so you're going to host a regional, they've got 4 weekend series wins against the likes of Arkansas, Tennessee, and now potentially Texas and freaking LSU. It's going to be the dumbest run that we've seen in the SEC in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. And it sounds like you have the same sentiment as I do. I think A&M wins 2 out of 3 this weekend. I really do. I mean, I know I have the utmost respect for Texas, but they got to lose at some point. Losing Spencer, I think, is a killer. So we'll see. But I think I'm on A&M, and I can't wait to watch tonight, man. I mean, that series is just going to be pure cinema. I want to touch on that LSU Tennessee and Baton Rouge too, because that's an awesome series as well. LSU had a 20-game home win streak at the box, snapped on Saturday by Bama. They had one of those wonky, weird midweek things that happen in college baseball. I don't know how the hell they got run ruled by Northwestern State, but it's a crazy sport. You know, that's what makes it so fun is that sometimes with baseball there's no rhyme or reason, but they're still having a very, very good year. I like their the Cade Anderson, Anthony Einson 1-2 starting combo is good. They got a ton of talent. And LSU and Tennessee's fan bases, I mean, I think you could argue the top 2 toxic college sports fan bases. I think they're one in. I don't even know. I think I'd have Tennessee slightly ahead of them, but it's close. I don't know. Which one you think? I mean, it's really tough.
They're bona fide nuts. Like these people are crazy, and it's why I love the hell out of them. I was in Knoxville for that A&M weekend series, and just like fell in love with these individuals because they have rallied around this baseball team. What's interesting about this matchup, and to your point, let's make a pitch to all college sports fans that haven't gotten on the baseball bandwagon yet. You pissed off about the chalk Final Four? Are you upset that the teams that are spending most in football are winning? LSU is the most historic college baseball team ever, and you probably couldn't on a map tell me where Northwestern State is. They beat them by 10 on Tuesday. It's the best sport in the world. It's most relatable. It's genuine. It's authentic. Come jump on board. Mintzy and I are riding the passenger seat, controlling the aux. Come hang out with us and the rest of this college baseball train. Because, dude, what we've got in Baton Rouge tonight is going to be silly. Cade Anderson, Liam Doyle, 2 southpaws, arguably the 2 best pitchers in the country. If you rewind 2 years ago, it was Dolander and Paul Skeens on this very night, right, in the box, and it was just dumb. Both those guys, obviously, already in the big league. Skeens, Rookie of the Year. Dolander just made his debut in Colorado. These are 2 guys that you will see in a Major League Baseball stadium in the next year and a half. And what they're doing for their respected schools is just stupid as hell. Doyle leading the country in strikeouts by a landslide. Anderson, the pitchability through the roof, like, is just so pristine and so poised every time he toes the rubber that tonight's going to have college craziness feel, but with legit big league stardom in between the white lines.
Yeah, I mean, in the atmosphere in the box, it's going to be sold out, just super crazy. Tennessee's, been awesome all year. They did lose 2 out of 3 at home to Kentucky last weekend. I kind of am choosing to say that's not an indictment on Tennessee, though, because I think Kentucky, I know they're not as good as they were last year, and they're the number 2 national seed, but they're scrappy and they're pretty good. I don't think that that's as bad as people think it seems. I don't know. I think, man, I just think this could be a hell of a series. I mean, the Liam Doyle thing this year, I mean, he's striking out like 1.7 guys an inning. I mean, it's literally insane.
Yeah, I know it hurts a little bit to have him and Fisher up there in Knoxville, and their return to Oxford was probably not great for Rebs Nation, but he's so good. It's so good. It's so dumb.
I know. Yeah, it is tough because if they would have kept Doyle, the way Ole Miss is having a good year, I feel like they'd really have a shot at being an Omaha team and be right in the mix if they had that ace. But regardless, Tennessee, LSU, going to be cinema. Some other big series around the country too. Oklahoma, I believe Oklahoma pulled it out at Georgia last night, right?
They did, yeah. 2-run win in Athens, man. Kind of caught me by surprise. Georgia's a team that's kind of struggling down the last. Yeah,
it didn't catch me. My only college baseball gambling pick was Oklahoma plus 190 yesterday. Hey. I thought that line was crazy because Oklahoma's got elite pitching. And Georgia's been struggling. I thought that they should have been Georgia should have been like minus 160, and they were minus 230, which I thought was crazy. Georgia's been struggling. Got swept at Vandy, lost midweek at Clemson. I mean, certainly not bad losses, but they were up to number 3 at one point. They got swept at Texas. Well, basically, when they're running into elite, they've got an unbelievable offense, maybe one of the best in college baseball. But when they've been running into elite pitching staffs, the offense is the bat. As so often happens, great pitching wins, and it seems like that's what's been getting them.
Just like Tennessee, our boy Ben Upton, you'll appreciate the theory. It's the hot, cold, hot concept. Your Rebs were perfect when they won the Natty. Mississippi State as well. You want to play your best baseball early. Everyone, just like in every movie you've ever watched, is going to struggle at some point in the season. You just want to be playing your very best come late May and June. So to me, Georgia fits that bill. Tennessee, if you want to call one weekend series loss to a Kentucky team that was in Omaha last year, streaky, fine, so be it. Depending what happens in Baton Rouge, they fit that bill. But yeah, you're right. Oklahoma's got maybe the best weekend pitching in the SEC. So that was a weird line too. And some of those massive like minus 200 to minus 300 lines, it's like sometimes I think like whether it be DraftKings or whoever the powers that be are, you go, man, do you not know how insanely volatile the college baseball world is? Like that was not a crazy one either. So kudos to you for sniping that one out because I probably would have rode that with you.
Yeah, now I'm always big on taking the underdogs in college baseball because what you said. I feel like the favorites are favored too much and the sport's so wild. And then some quick other ones to touch on. Big series in Oxford. Vandy all the way up into the top 10. Their RPI is number 4 going to Ole Miss. Ole Miss had a really bad week last week, but they righted the ship with a Saturday win, salvaging one against a bad South Carolina team, but won a thrilling Governor's Cup game Tuesday night against Mississippi State. And this is a huge series for the Rebs because they're like right now they're 18, 19 RPI, and obviously the goal is to be top 16 to host a regional. So this one's a big one. They need to. I feel like they really need 2 out of 3 if they want to host a regional at home this week against Vandy. But man, this Vandy team's coming on. They got a lot of talent. I feel like they always have like a million guys that can throw 98. It just never ends.
100%. Yeah, dude. They're the Vandy boys, man. They've got that blue blood energy. They don't care where they go or where they are. They feel like they have a chance to win every single time they lace them up. But, dude, I think that what proves is it's so damn hard to win in the SEC. Like, that Ole Miss at South Carolina proves that, like, going on the road is so difficult in this damn conference that you take care of business this week and all of a sudden you're right back in the driver's seat to host. And that's got to be the goal, right? Let's get crazy at Swayze. Sign me up for an Oxford regional. I haven't been yet. I feel like I have to. It's got to be a bucket list. And especially if they host a regional, taking 2. And if you can beat J.D. Thompson, Vandy's Friday guy, you give yourself a great chance to sweep, to be completely honest. So win Friday night, the Rebs are right there. They sweep the weekend, and you're looking at potentially a national host site.
Yeah, the last series I want to ask you about from this weekend is the one in Gainesville, Florida, because I feel like Florida's showing signs of life too. They were 1-11 in the SEC. Now they're 6-12. They did sweep Florida State in midweek games, but even with the 6-12 record, they're like 27-15 overall. I still think they're firmly. They need to probably get to 12-18 at SEC to make the tourney, but they got a ton of talent. They obviously made an Omaha run last year. I feel like, everybody knows A&M's getting it together, but Florida, I think, is off the radar, kind of playing better too.
Yeah, can't count Sully out, right? With 4 weekend series wins, you got 12 games left in conference. They're 6-12. I think the lucky number in the SEC is 13. They can get to 13 wins. It almost bona fide, like grants.
13 guarantees it. I think 12 might at this point. I think it's different now with the how strong the SEC. With the SEC, I mean, you've got 2 bad. Missouri, they should go European soccer and relegate Missouri out of the league. They're 0-18 in the SEC, and it's like not even a good 0-18. Like I don't think has there been any close games.
No, it's like if they were playing high school baseball and they played only 6 innings, maybe, but it gets pretty ugly late. It's not great.
No, but Florida playing better. Arkansas has been one of the best teams all year. I know they obviously every year. I know they lost 2 out of 3 to A&M at home last week, but this is a big litmus test for the Gators because they pull off 2 out of 3 here at home. I mean, you can pretty much say they're back.
I was going to say too, you just can't count out Sully. Like he's too much of a winner, and he's crazy in all the right ways. So you're right. I think they're in a weird spot. Add Texas and add OU. So I'm kind of with you. I think I agree. Like 12 wins get you in. So you just got to go play 500 baseball. And hell, if you go, I don't know, 8-4 the rest of the way, you put yourself in a really good spot, make it a little bit more comfy. But Colby Shelton is a guy for college baseball fans that are well aware. Guy's hitting like 370. He's leading the SEC in hitting in conference play. So they've rode in his big bat, and I expect him to keep doing the same because as the weather gets warm, those Gators like to come crawling out of hibernation, and they've surely done so in the last few weeks.
And I mean, last year they got the last spot in the NCAA tourney and ended up making like a deep Omaha run. So we've seen it before, that's for sure, from Florida. Well, I want to ask, like I said, you wear many hats. You got the Pencil Talk pod. 11.7's awesome. Continues to build every year. I mean, the social media presence is epic with the stuff, especially the way I'll clip stuff. And then also, how's the D1 baseball thing going?
Dude, it's awesome, man. It's been great. Learning from guys like Ben Upton and Dimitri over at 11.7, it's been great. They taught me a lot about the social media world. I went to 6 years of college. It feels like I've added like another year or two from those guys. But D1 baseball has been fantastic. I know you're a big fan. You had him on right after us in Hoover last year. But to learn from a guy like Kyle Peterson, the dream is to get into the booth and tell stories, man. That guy is the voice of college baseball. Man, to learn from him. He's also a fellow flip-flop lover, which really bodes well for me. I know a lot of people get mad when I got the dogs out, but when the weather warms up, man, there's no need to put on socks. So KP's been great. The D1 baseball guys are so damn intelligent in the way that they articulate and break down the game that too has added a level of professionalism to my tool belt that has been awesome. Kendall Rogers, Aaron Fitt, they brought in Bradley Smart at the same time, the young dude with a beautiful freaking stash that I envy every day. It's been awesome, man. It's a totally different world, but with the college baseball, I guess, social media space growing, it's been cool to see a lot of different groups kind of gel and glue together. That way we can, help spread the good word.
That's for sure. Well, I want to ask you, because you're known for the pencil, and obviously there's, you're interacting with Big Cat and the Yak with the pencil thing. Where did you get the Pencil Talk thing from? Have you always been a pencil guy? Because it's definitely your trademark.
It's become the trademark. We built the logo. Scott Van Pelt was like the icon, man. Like he's the guy, right? So we kind of took like his bald head and the headphones look, and we just kind of photoshopped the pencil inside of it. But the Spark Notes version, the pencil started because my senior year of college, I didn't know I needed an internship. Spring season and graduation's right around the corner. I'm playing baseball at Charleston Southern. I didn't know I needed one, so I actually interned with the SID department. So I just always forgot a microphone, but I always had a pencil. And my guy Kevin Hickey kind of was the OG to it. So we just we carried it on. And then when I started broadcasting a few years ago, I didn't go to school for it. Didn't really necessarily have a ton of experience. So it was a resume, man. It was a foot in the door. And it would be pretty inauthentic if I rolled downstairs to start interviewing some college baseball guys with, a suit and tie and a regular microphone. So the pencil was revived, and we've carried it on ever since. But I know those Yak guys are selling those big pencils, man. I got to get my hands on one.
We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna. I know, and you're good friends with Connor Griffin, who is a big part of the Yak and helps run that social media. So I feel like we can definitely make that happen. Connor, by the way, recovering today, man. Ate 40 waffles yesterday because of Florida winning the national title, man. I had to throw up. I was, I respect the hell out of his effort, as I've had to do the eating contest thing before here, but man, that's a tough scene, man. That's no joke. That's rough.
So Connor, a fellow Wando warrior, grew up in Charleston together with him. And, man, I remember reaching out to him. I did I lost like a March Madness pool, so I had to go do the Waffle House challenge. So I ended up eating like 14 of them. And I don't think I could have looked at a waffle again for the rest of the calendar year. Dude, 40 is nuts.
Dude, that's so many carbs and so much bread. Like we did like a fat man, like stool after dark eating competition where I ate like 37 chicken wings and 5 orders of fries and like 11 Pepsi Zeros like about a month ago. And that literally destroyed me. And that's like the wings aren't carbs, like, I don't know, man. I felt really bad for him, and I respect the fact that he sold out for the stool as he always does.
He said anything for the brand. And that's where we'll make our pitch to the Yak today. We're going to keep getting these flops on the ground. We're going to keep telling some stories with these pencils. But, Mintz, I think if Ole Miss hosts a regional, we'll make it like a trial run for the Yak. That pig pencil will do all stories that fit their brand. But I think there's no one better to take that on than down in Swayze, you and I.
Yeah, no, if Ole Miss hosts a regional, I'll come down there and do it with you. That'd be fun.
let's do it. I think it's a no-brainer, man. I want a beer shower more than I can breathe, dude. I need it in my veins.
Well, I feel like if you will it, it is no dream. So hopefully the Rebs can win 2 out of 3. We can make that happen. So what? I know your boots on the ground in Austin. Are you calling game? I know you called some ACC Network games last year. Are you doing any broadcasting this year?
Yeah, dude. I think it's doing a lot of broadcasting in the Carolinas. Kind of weighing the content versus the broadcasting deal, though, right? So I've made some really cool relationships, whether it be at Clemson last week, Tennessee a few weeks ago, went out to Arizona. So. Man, I'm trying to walk the walk that Barstool has helped kind of build the blueprint of, which is, hey, there's a way to tell stories, there's a way to do this thing in the social space, which I'm just kind of learning, honestly. And so haven't broadcasted as much to like be super aggressive and get into these weekends to do content. So, unless Kyle Peterson gets food poisoning or something, that third chair opens up tonight. I don't really foresee myself getting on top 10 broadcasts anytime soon. But yeah, did a lot of ACC stuff, potentially some ACC stuff up in the wings in the next coming weeks between North Carolina and Duke and State. So it's been good, man.
Well, keep grinding, man. I mean, you're everywhere all the time. You're making it happen, and that's what it's about. So, love following it, and I really appreciate you giving us some time this morning.
Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate your time more than you know, man. Your words are far too kind. Love listening every morning, man. Y'all's draft breakdown was killer this morning. I needed someone to summarize it for me. I missed it all last night, so I appreciated it, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks again, Jack. Follow him on Twitter at it's spelled J DeLongchamps. I always DeLongchamp. How do you say it? DeLongchamp.
There's a little bit of NOLA there in my back pocket. You nailed it perfectly. It's
yeah, that's what I thought. Well, that's why I think I can get it. It's because it's a very South Louisiana name. That's for sure. Do you have any cousins from Louisiana?
All my family's from Texas, so I got cousins that are from Louisiana, but for the most part, all here in Texas.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Well, thanks again. Follow him on Twitter, and man, can't wait to follow the content from Austin this weekend.
Heck yeah. Appreciate you, man. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Thanks to Jack DeLongchamp. Can't wait for NFL draft round 2 today. Who the Saints could take a quarterback. I think it's going to be Tyler Shogg. And, man, let's have a hell of a Friday. Like I said, college baseball, NBA, NHL playoffs, NFL draft. Beautiful spring weather. What a time to be alive, boys. Thank y'all.